Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. Thank you to my subscribers and thank you so much to the newcomers. I really appreciate you guys being here, creating these beautiful pieces with me. And I can't thank you enough for participating on these beautiful art designs and also being part of this journey with me. So it's very important to subscribe, like, share, comment, and tag me, please, if you do some of my work. Then I would really appreciate if you also tag me along. I created this beautiful table runner, which is a round piece table runner. As I had mentioned on the butterfly tutorial that I was doing the butterflies, that I was going to create a round table runner. As you saw in the beginning of the video, there's some pictures up and some video done. Now, very simple to do, very easy. I suggest the best thing you do first is do your butterflies, leave the leaves to the end so you can attach it onto your pattern. I explained some of them how to apply as you're doing your green leaves on the butterfly, to apply on these green leaves on the pattern. Some you will skip one space and some you won't because of the way it stretches it out. So it really doesn't have a count how many separation you do on the leaves on the pattern, because some people have a very tight stitch and some people have a very loose stitch. So what you don't want it to do is that it furls up when you're applying. So you got to lay out, as you're doing the green leaves on the butterfly, you pretty much lay it down to see if it stretches enough so it doesn't cripple up on you. I also added the leaf at the beginning and at the end of the butterfly, almost joining the other pattern. So it gives it character, it gives it nice charm. Now, very simple to do. Like I said, don't worry about if you can skip one or not. Like as you see here, I couldn't skip it because if I did skip one of these leaves, like I have here, it would have crunched up too much. So it really does not matter at all. If you have a large stitch, then you probably can get away with it. If you have a tight stitch like myself, then you can't really get away with it. It's just, part of our nature to tie everything up. So with that being said, we're going to get started. I wasted about, no, it's a way of saying it. I used about 150 grams of the white and probably 75 to 100 of the yellow with the yellow orange. With the green, there's about another 100 grams of the green because of creating, all the leaves around the butterflies. So didn't really take much with the yarn for the butterflies. That's probably not even 20 grams because very small pieces. I hope you enjoy this tutorial and I hope you really do make it. Will make me very happy that I will know that people are enjoying it and creating these pieces. Thank you so much again, everybody. Please don't forget to hit that bell notification so you can know when I'm uploading always new patterns again. Can't thank you enough. So let's get started, everybody. Thank you. Okay, everybody, so we're going to start making the centerpiece of the table runner, which will be like this. So we need a big one and two small ones like this for both sides of the table runner. So you're going to have two sides the same size and the bigger piece on the center. I've created the butterflies as I've explained in my last tutorial when I made them, that I was creating them for a round table runner. So this is what it is. Now you can choose whatever color you want or leave it all in the same color. It's all up to you. I like using different colors. I think it gives character and it brings out the art in the pieces of the pattern. So I put this yellow orange, and it's some butterflies yellow and some yellow orange, and alternated one yellow orange, one yellow, and so on and so forth. So I have my 2 side pieces done already, as you can see. And I'm going to create with you the middle piece because it's all the same stitch. The only difference is the amount of stitches. The bigger piece, the more stitches. The smaller the piece, the smaller the stitches, obviously. So we're going to get creative on this. Let me just set my camera here straight. Now, we are going to do the magic ring, which is you roll it once around your finger and you just pull your thread through it. Now inside of this magic ring we are going to do 13 stitches. So we went up 3 to start off, 2, 3, 4, anyway, so 16 of them. I'll meet you at the end and we're going to tie it on the 3rd place up here. So we've done the 16th stitch. We're going to just pull our magic ring yarn and we're going to close it up and tie it up together. We're going to go on the 3rd stitch, close it up. Should have been more of a close-up. Okay, so now we're going to walk inside here to the next one. I'll explain to you why I like doing this. Because when we started off with 3 stitches, right? So obviously the 3 stitch is not the same as when you stitch all your stitches with the needle, because you have to start at one point somehow. In order not to have a line going up with the 3 stitch all the time, I always go to the next one and create it from there. So the 3 stitch going up does not land the line on the same line. So it looks so artificial. That's why I always like to lean over to the next one. But you go in the middle of the stitch. You don't grab it from the outside. You go in the middle of it. Okay? So now we go up 1, 2, and 3. And what are we going to do? We are only going to work on back loops. Okay. So since we're going to go inside of the loop, we are going to do 2 on each loop the whole round. We'll get to this one when we come to the end, because we're going to create one inside of this one too. So 2 stitches on each loop all the way around. Always grabbing from the middle, the outside back loop, and not the front. So 2 stitches on every single one of them until the end. I'll meet you at the end. So we've reached the end with 2, which we stitched on the stitch that we started, and we made another one to go over, right? So just go right on top of it, and then because we did a 3 stitch, we're going to go exactly where the stitch is, so you can make your 2 in there. Okay, So this will be the 2 in here in the same one. You're supposed to have 32 stitches. So make sure that you at least count the second row to make sure that you do have the 32, or else your pattern will not stay flat. Okay. Now we go into the middle piece again, and we go into the next, so we don't create that line. Go up 3, 2, 3. We leave this one like next one. We are going to create 1. We won't count this one yet because we always leave the first one to the end. In the end, we always add one inside of the same one. So we're going to have one loop with 1 and the next loop with 2. So 2 stitches on the same loop. Next loop with 1, next one with 2. And it's going to be like this throughout, all the way around. I always have to stop and confirm where am I at, because sometimes you could just go right through it and make 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. It has happened to me. So when we get to the end, so we're going to do 2 in 1 loop, 1, 2 in 1 loop, 1, 2 in 1 loop, 1. And it's going to be like that all the way around until the last one here. This is going to be 2 because we have 1 here, remember? So we're going to put 1 in here so it can be really joined together and it's not going to be like a space hole. I'll meet you at the end. So now you can see that we've come to the end. Now, because of the stitch we give to come over to the next one, so we have 2, we need to make 1 inside of that stitch, because the first stitch we did with the 3 stitches, it always takes 2 inside the same one. So and we close in a 3rd stitch up here. So we have 2 inside of the same one. Again, we walk over and we go up 3. 1, 2, and 3. Now, the next row, all the rows are very simple. It's not complicated at all. So we don't count this one because we know at the end it's going to have another one inside, the same one. We count this one. So we're going to leave 1 loop, next loop, 1 loop, and on the 3rd loop we're going to create 2 inside. So this is how it's going to be throughout all of the pattern. You leave 1 single stitch alone on the loop, 2 alone in the loop, and on the 3rd one we create 2 on the same loop. So 3 stitch going up, 1 alone, 1 alone, 2 together, 1 alone, 1 alone, 2 together. And this is going to be all the way through to the end, and we're going to end up with another stitch inside of the first one we created, so it can be 2 together. The next row will be 3 alone, and on the 4th stitch 2 together. So we'll be having the next row 1 alone, 1 alone, 1 alone, and on the 4th stitch 2 together. Now I did 1, 2, 3. We're on our 4th row. In my pattern here, this is the 2 small side ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 with the orange yellow, but you can go longer. You can spread it out more with the same color as you wish and make the size you want. In these small ones, it's up to size 10. So that means the last row here, it's 9 alone, and on your 10th one is 2 together. So 9 stitches alone, and on the 10th one is 2 together. So we are 1, 2, 3, we're on our 4th one, 1, 2, 3, 4. And on this one is 2 alone. So that means 1, 2, 3, 4. So 2 alone, 3 alone, 4 alone, 5 alone, 6 alone, 7 alone, 8 alone, 9 alone. On your 10th one is 2 together. This is the size of this, the 2, because you need 2 of the same size to put on each side of the centerpiece. So if you want to create these 2 like I have, I created these 2, and now I'm doing the big one, which I will see until what size I want to go. I'll probably go until 15. That means 14 alone, and on the 15, 2 together. But I will see at the end with you. So very simple. Always come to the end and always add the 2 together on your last one. So that means you would have 1 alone here, and on the same stitch where you have this one, you would have 2 inside. So it adds up perfect. I'll meet you at the end just to confirm. Okay, so we're almost at the end. So now we have 2 together. We got to do 2 alone. So here's 1, 2 alone. On our 3rd one, which is the one that we started off, will be 2 together. I think it's explained enough. So go ahead and do your other 2 rows if you're doing 6 like myself. So you know that on the next one will be 3 alone, and on your 4th one, 2 together. So 3 stitches alone, the 4th one, 2 together. Okay, you guys, so I did 9 rows of the big one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. With that being said, I have, let's say, I'm on the last row, which I just completed to put the last one in there, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So on your 8, you put 2 in. Okay? Go through it again. So let's say this one, we have 2. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And on your 8, you put 2 in. I'm going to change colors and go into the white. So I'm just going to pull it back here. And go to the next space. Just pull your yarn. 1, 2, 3. Next space. And we continue on. So now we're going to have 9 single stitch. And on your 10th one, hold on a minute, let me not get confused here. So we have 8. So yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Whoops. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so on your 8th one, we do 2. So on your 9th one here, we do 2. And then on the next row, 10th one, we do 2. And I don't know how many at this point I'm going to go up. I will see as I'm going, and I will let you know. So I'm just going to do a couple more here. So we don't count this one. So we do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we leave 8 out. Now we do on our 9th, we do 2 of them. So 8 singles, 2 on the 9th. I'll meet you at the end. Okay, everybody. So I did all my white. You know that it's accordingly on the row. So my last row is 14 singles. That means 14 of them each, one each per loop. On your 15th, it's 2 inside of the same loop. So you do 14 singles on each loop. Getting to the 14, you do 2. So you do one more inside of the other one. So 2 of them. So this has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rows. And now we are going to finish it up so we can start the green. So we're going to create these little loops around, all around, so we can do the green afterwards. So very simple. We're going to do 1, 2, 3. So this is on here, actually. Yeah, that's fine. So this one's on top of the other one. We do 3 up. So we're gonna 1, 2. On your 3rd one, we are going to make the little loop. So 1, 2, 3, and we count 1, 2. On the 3rd one, we do another little loop. So we're doing little loops all the way around until the end. 1, 2, 3. So we can do the green afterwards. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And that's it for this row. And then we can cut the yarn. Or you continue on the same color as you wish. I'm cutting the yarn afterwards because I am using the green. Okay, so I'll meet you at the end. Okay, so we've reached the end. We cut our yarn. Stitch it a bit here, just so we can hide it when we do the next row. So you can go ahead and hide it in between the 3 stitch. Then the green is going to cover it. So now we grab our green, or if you're doing the same color, well, you just continue on then. You can put on any one, it doesn't matter. I hate when that happens. My stitch is very tight, so it's stuck with it all the time. Okay, so now you can start pulling the green yarn in the back and just hide it, stitch over it. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, and again on the same one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we're going to do 6 stitch on the same loop. Next loop, no separation. We're just gonna tidy in. Next loop, we're gonna make 6 more stitches inside. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Next loop, close it in. And it's going to be repeatedly throughout the whole row. Six. Now, my advice to you is, as you can see, I have my butterflies that I've been working on and getting them ready with my loops in the back already. So I can stitch the green leaves afterwards. So the best thing is to get your butterflies prepared and then do your leaves, the green leaves in the back, which I have the tutorial on the butterflies, so you can go and look at it, or you can use flowers if you like, and then you can apply the black as we have here on these ones, because I did them before. So I have them on here already with the leaves on it and attached already to the pattern. I also did the first one before the butterfly. I did the leaf and I put a small little butterfly just to give it another little character on there. So the best way is to get them prepared. Once you get them prepared, then you're ready to, when you're stitching the green leaf, you can attach it already onto this one here. It's much faster. As you're doing the green, you apply it on to your pattern. I will show you the space that we have between the butterflies so you can apply. I did one orange, yellow, one yellow, one orange, yellow, one yellow. So I mean, it's up to you, your choice, how you want to do it. Now, what I'm going to do is I am going to, once I am halfway, this pattern will be divided into two. Let's say I'm going to count how many greens or how many of these loops I have and separate them in half, because the butterflies is going to be half on one side and then half on this side. And then the other pattern, the other small pattern, I'm going to have the other half of the butterflies on this side. So let's say like this one here, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's 5 butterflies plus 2 leaves. Now, I'm going to give you an example. The green, get this, the green here, there's 30 green little leaves. It has to be separated in two, so that means 15 to one side, 15 to the other. And that's exactly what I did here with this. So it's 15. So I started on my 15 with the leaf, and I continued on half of it. So it's 15 loops to this side and 15 green leaves loops to the other side. And this is what I'm going to do with this one too, the same thing. So I'm going to create half. Actually, it's going to be on the, yes, this side. So it's going to half, it's going to be the leaf again, and then 5 butterflies, and then the leaf again at the bottom, like this one here. Now, I'm going to count how many this one has, because I'm already going to attach it to this one underneath. So I am going to attach it here somewhere, so it already can be stuck already on the pattern. And then I continue on my butterflies from here, this side on. I'll show you in a minute. So basically, I've attached them on here. So right after this leaf, I made 1 stitch here on this side and 1 on this side. You're going to see it as I am going to apply the leaf, the butterflies on this one, and the attachment on this one. So it will be more clear for you exactly how I'm attaching them. So don't worry about it. Okay, so these green leaves, I added them up, and it gives me these little loops. It gives me 43. Now 43 is not a good number. It has to be either 42 or 44. But that's not a problem, because we can just either create on top of a loop another leaf, or we can skip and cut down. Because there's 43, I am going to divide 21 and 21. So that will be 42, and I will skip 1 loop so we can have even numbers. So on your 21, on the little loop that we make after making 21 little leaves, you could attach it on anywhere on the small one in the same position as the small little loop, small little stitch. So after your 21, get a close up here, after your 21 little leaves here, green leaves, just go into where we do that small stitch, right? We skip and just continue on making the rest of the 21. So like I said, you can just jump right over 1, or just go, I'll show you once I get to the end. 5 and 6. Oh, wait a minute. Not good. Hold on. Hold on a minute. We have to attach it in the 2. Okay, that's fine. We need to attach it into the 2 places. Okay. Thought I made a mistake there, but I didn't. Okay, so we attached it. We attached it here. We make the 6. We go down on the next one, right? And now we're going to attach it on the other one. So we can have a whole one attached. And like this, our pattern will be centered equally. And then we continue on making our 6 stitch. We continue throughout the whole row. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. One more. 6. So nothing to it. Very simple, very easy. We continue on. Then we go into the skip one and into the next one. Okay, so basically this is what it's going to look like. Hold on a minute, get it straight here for you. So we've attached, because now you know that this side is going to have 15 green and the other side too, 15 green. So this is basically what I've done. I've attached it onto here on both loops, so we can have equal parts the same. And then our butterflies are gonna go on the left side. We're gonna do our 5 or 6, probably gonna take 6 because it's a bigger one. And we're gonna put our leaf also over here. So as we have a leaf on the other end, we're gonna have the leaf, show you. Whoops. So as we have the leaf here, we're going to add the leaf here and continue the butterflies on this side with the leaf on here. So it continues on. So I think because we have 5 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we have 5 butterflies on this one. I think this one's going to take 6 or 7, maybe even 7. But anyway, we'll get to that once we get to the butterflies. We're going to finish up doing the rest of the stitch and then count how many green leaves we have. We have equal on both sides. If we don't, then we can add one more or take out one. Okay, because we were missing one, so what I did was I still went into the next loop after creating this one. I went into the next loop, but instead of jumping, because we're missing one, I added one more. So I put right on top of the loop stitch, and then I can just go and go my regular way and no problem, no issues. And it's not like you can see a difference, you know what I'm saying, because it just all falls perfect. So that's the best way to do it. So I did it in on top of the regular underneath loop here where we attached. So I added, so my counts can be equally, because in order to have been perfect, I would have to go one more row of the white, and I really don't want to, because I don't want it to be too big comparison to the small ones. So either I would have left it like this, or I would have taken out one row to be equal amount, but that's fine, no biggie, no issue. I mean, it's still perfect just the same. And these are little tricks and things that you will have to do along the way as you're making patterns. Sometimes you need to add, adjust, or take out, you know, certain patterns that you will make instead of just taking the whole thing down. I mean, if it's a big boo-boo, yes, but that's not a boo-boo. It's just an extra leaf on there. So you can have the equal amount. Okay, so now that we finished doing, now we cut our yarn. Okay, you guys, so I recalculated again to make sure, because sometimes you calculate and you think that it's all good the first time, but I obviously didn't count properly. Okay, so I have my last one on here. Okay, so after I've attached to the little small one on one side and just finished the attaching to the other small one on this side. So basically there's 42 there's 42 of these loops. So not 43. My mistake to begin with. There's 42. So you lose one by attaching one up in one corner of the small piece, and you lose another one by attaching the other side of the other pattern. So automatically because you lose two of them in the centerpiece, which is fine because it gives you the exact amount. You have 42, you lose one, so that's 41. You lose another one, so that's 40. So you're going to have 20 of the green ones on one side and 20 on the other side, and it's just perfect. It's going to be just centered perfectly. But like I said, no biggie, no issues. If we needed to add more, then we would have. If we needed to cut less, then we would have cut less too. So this is the last one, and it's perfect. So I took out that one that I had extended here because I went back and recounted, and I had made the mistake on counting. So it all worked out for the best. So now we cut it. Okay guys, so now we are going to create this leaf, and we're going to pin it on this side. We're going to count 1, 2, and 3 and pin it here in between. So it's going to be going this way. Okay, we're going to put our leaf here. I'll show you once I'm done with the leaf. There's also the tutorial on the leaf. You can look it up. We always start by 15 stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And we go into the back loop, the next one down, and the back loop all the way to the end. We do 2 stitch separation on the same loop. We do 1 stitch inside. So it's exactly like this one. This one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 little corners. So it has to be 5 on this side and 5 on this side. You could always look up the tutorial for these leaves. So what I meant by we get to the end, we do 2 stitch separation, which I already had done 1. We go on the same loop, we do another stitch inside, and then we go automatically to the first stitch, and so on the other side of this chain. And we do this almost until the end. We leave 2 out. We stop 2 before, so we can make those little loops, okay? The edges of the leaf. Okay, you guys, so what I basically did was I putted my leaf on my last row of doing my leaf. I attached the edge and the last stitch on the little corner here. So from the middle piece that we attached, we count 1, and between the two of them, you attach the corner leaf. And of course, counting from 1, 2, and then you'd count 1, 2. On the middle of this leaf, you would attach the end of the big leaf. Also, you skip 1 over here to attach the 2 leaves from the butterfly onto the pattern. And so it goes on. So now I am going to create the leaves on this butterfly, well, the orange yellow. We're going to skip 1 over here, and we're going to attach the 2 of them here with the edge of this one. I'll show you as I'm attaching onto it. Okay, so I'm on my last row of the leaves. I have, because it's 2 rows of leaves, right? One on top of the other. So I have a few more to do, and I'm not doing them because we need to attach. Now what happens is, because this is a curve, let me just turn the camera here a bit. Because this is a curve, we need to have it close enough so you can grab a bit of this one here. So what we do, we're going to attach it on the 2 next ones to the other flower here. So we do 3 stitch on top of the other one, and we grab the last, we count the 3 stitch from the end here. 1, 2, 3, and we attach it on here, and we continue on. Because this takes 6 stitch, so we stitch in between the middle, which is 3. Continue on, stitch over stitch, 1, 2, and side of the separation, which is 1 separation. There's 3. Now you count from the beginning of this one here, 1, 2, and 3. And we stitch here. And you have to go accordingly, because some, like in the straighter part here, we leave 1 separation out, like we did, like I did with the other one. You'll see when I do the small one. This is the centerpiece, the big piece. So in order to have that curve going, we cannot skip it, or else it's gonna fuzz up too much. So another one inside, another one overlapping, and one attached here, and 1, 2, 3. So we lay it out to see where it fits best, and it will fit perfect on the middle of this one here. So no separation, there's none left out here. So we do 3 stitch, and we count from this one here, 1, 2, 3, and we go in the middle of it to have it attached. And we continue on continue overlapping the bottom stitches, which is the first row. I have 4, so 2 stitch, 1 separation, 2 stitch, 1 stitch separation. On top, we go on top of the 2 stitch, we put 1 stitch inside and no separation, and another one inside, and then we overlap the other 2, so it makes a total of 6. And this is how it is. And there you have it. And we're going to go on to the next butterfly. Okay, so we did our 3 stitch. We're going to skip this one, and we're going to attach it on these 2 with the edge of this one here. So we're going to leave one free. Okay, if you see that your stitch is pulling too much, then don't skip. You'll probably have to add one more butterfly or something like that, because you don't want it to be pulling on the yarn either, you know. It's not going to be nice. So you got to go with the flow. You see what fits best, because people have different sizes of stitches. Mine doesn't mean that it's the same as yours. So, you know, some pattern, some of these spaces I can't skip because of the roundness, and some I will skip one. So depending upon each person's stitch. But don't worry about it. If you see that you cannot skip any of these, then just attach it onto it, the two ends of the leaves onto your pattern, and one at the edge, and you'll probably have to add more butterflies, but that's not the end of the world. Okay, so I'll grab this one here too. You know, sometimes when I'm making these videos, I'm thinking, okay, I'm not going to make it too long, and, you know, I'm trying to make a shorter video, but it's almost impossible with all these little details. You know, it's almost like I have no choice. So now you would grab the edge of this one here, not specifically any number of stitch. You know, it depends what you see lays out best for you because of your stitch size. So don't worry about it. It all comes to the same conclusion at the end. Like I said, you probably have to add a few more butterflies, maybe 2 butterflies if your stitch is extremely tight, and if your stitch is very loose, then I'm very sure you'll be skipping one. So here I only added 1, but some of them I am going to add a second attachment, you see. So I will have to take it down and go to my 3rd one. You know, you go as you see fits best. So because you don't want it to be too different than the little ones, you know. You want to have something similar. It doesn't matter, sometimes you're going to have to only stitch 1 and not 2, but Get it in the center if that's the case, you know. Especially when it comes to these curves, you have to be extremely careful because they can really bundle up the butterflies, you know, so you don't want to do that. Now, let me see what it looks like. See, it came out pretty good. So you have two here. We skip one here. That's my stitch. Maybe you can't. Maybe your stitch is even tighter than mine. If it's looser, then for sure you're going to skip it. And so 2, skip 1, and then 2. But if you see it's too tight for you, then just do 1, and do 1 in the middle instead of just grabbing one edge. Just do exactly in the middle, and it's fine too, depending upon each one's stitch. So I'm sure I will be skipping this one because now we're in a straighter row. Okay, and this is how it's gonna go until you're half, until you have the other stitch here. So you're not going to come to the end because we know that 1, 2, 3 is the leaf. So we know we have at least 2 more butterflies. So it's going to be the same total. It's 5 to 6 butterflies on the big one. Okay, I'll meet you at the end. Once we've put the leaf on like this, you can see with this size of stitch how many butterflies it will take.